Welcome to my presentation on FAPE, Free and Appropriate Public Education. I will be teaching you about FAPE, why it is important to understand for teachers, families, and the student, some considerations on the practice, and resources to further your knowledge. What is FAPE? FAPE is based off of the 14th Amendment in the Constitution and is an acronym for Free and Appropriate Public Education. The 14th Amendment of the Constitution discusses the rights of individuals within the United States. Within Chapter 3 of our class text, Special Education Law, the authors mention that states cannot create or put any laws into practice that deny individuals' rights, and states cannot deny individuals the right to property, life, and liberty without due process. FAPE protects the educational rights of students while making sure they are receiving a free and appropriate public education in their least restrictive environment, which is as close to the general education classroom as possible. Why does the 14th Amendment matter? The 14th Amendment was a large influence in regards to FAPE. The main role of the 14th Amendment is to make sure that all individuals in the United States are receiving the same rights and laws. It is also in place to make sure that laws within the different states are being applied to all citizens equally. What court cases led to FAPE? The court cases that led to the establishment of FAPE were Park v. Commonwealth of Pennsylvania in 1972 and Mills v. Board of Education of the District of Columbia in 1972. Park v. Commonwealth of Pennsylvania in 1972 focused heavily on the exclusion of children with developmental delays and disabilities, how individuals with developmental delays and disabilities are able to benefit from educational services, and that children with developmental disabilities and developmental delays deserve a free public education. Mills v. Board of Education in the District of Columbia in 1972 focused on fighting for all children with disabilities and the fact that the 14th and 15th Amendment for the children were being violated. The 14th Amendment focused on the equal protection of the children, and the 15th Amendment focused on the due process. What is free education? A free education is not defined through IDEA. However, IDEA will provide for the public education of students at no cost. If students need other special education services or transportations, the schools are not able to apply other fees. The only extra costs or fees that are applied to a student's education is if it is being applied to all children in the school. What is an appropriate education? An appropriate education has not been defined through legislation. It ended up being defined through the Supreme Court in the case Board of Education versus Rowley in 1982. Through the Rowley test, students receive an appropriate education where special education and related services are provided without charge. They meet state standards, and it includes an appropriate curriculum, and they are also fitting within the IEP and what it requires for the student. The Supreme Court then ended up addressing related services in the court case Irving ISD versus Tatro in 1984. What is a public education? A public education is often provided through schools, but if they are unable to provide the appropriate education for the student, then they will be able to receive private services at no cost to the parents or guardians. This was established through a variety of court cases, namely Wilson County School System versus Clifton in 2000 and St. Johnsbury Academy versus DH in 2001. Why is FAPE important for teachers? FAPE is important for teachers to understand and work towards following so that students can achieve their goals and receive what is necessary for them to be successful. We will work towards creating an environment that is safe and comfortable for our students to learn. And we need to make sure that we are providing an education that is on their level and is appropriate for them. We need to collaborate with staff and make sure that we are finding resources to help us within the classroom to further our understanding of content and the rights of our students. Following along with FAPE will make sure that our students are successful and able to work with peers at their age level, along with making sure that their rights are being protected and followed. Teachers need to make sure that they are collecting data appropriately and keeping a record of what they are teaching and how students are performing, as this can be pulled by admin and higher-ups if necessary during a due process case. Why is FAPE important for parents? FAPE is important for parents because it guarantees the type of public education that their child will be able to receive. Parents need to understand FAPE and what it entitles their children to, as they have educational rights. Parents also have the right to look into the educational background of their children within a school district, such as data collected, what was being taught to them, their performance, etc. Parents can use this information if necessary within a due process setting and make formal complaints if they feel that their child is not receiving the education that they are entitled to. Why is FAPE important for students? It is important for students to know about FAPE so they are aware of their educational rights. Students also need to be aware of what should be in place for them if needed, such as related services, IEP goals and objectives, modifications and accommodations, etc. If students are aware of FAPE and what goes into it, they will be able to report to their families or administration if they are not getting the kind of education that they have a right to receive. By being aware of FAPE, some students may feel more inclined to advocate for themselves if they are not receiving the proper education. Considerations for practice. 5 considerations to follow when teaching and being in compliance with FAPE are: 1. Make sure that students are being appropriately assessed and evaluated. 2. Give students with any disability an IEP and follow it. 3. Make sure that students are in their least restrictive environment. 4. Push for the participation of families and parents. 5. Follow the procedural safeguards outlined in IDEA. We can follow all of these considerations by performing assessments in students' native language, having a certified administrator for the assessment, and doing evaluations in a timely manner. We can create an IEP with a team of related services, the general education teacher, parents, and the student to create the goals and objectives that they will be working on for the school year or the academic year. It is very important that we get the input of the child as well as the parents. That way we can see what they would like to work towards and what their goals and objectives are as they get older. We can also identify any modifications or supports that may benefit the student and ensure that they are in their least restrictive environment. We can also make sure to give parents a copy of IDEA when it needs to be sent out. We can inform them of their rights, and we can also notify them that they can go through with an impartial hearing if necessary if they have any complaints that they wish to make in regards to the education of their children. Extend your learning. To extend your learning about FAPE, you may visit the following 5 resources. 1. To learn more about FAPE and what is covered under it, visit the following link. On this page, you will find an article written by Ryan Stober, a marketing director with SpedTrack. 2. To learn more about FAPE from the U.S. Department of Education, visit the following link. On this page, you will find a breakdown of information about FAPE under Section 504. 3. To learn more about the principles of IDEA, or the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, visit the following link. On this page, you will find information about the 6 principles of IDEA, as well as information about vape. Number 4. To learn more about what vape looks like for students within separate facilities, you can visit the following link. On this page, you will find information from the Ohio Department of Education about what vape will look like for students in a separate facility. It also contains information about meeting state standards for the students in separate facilities. And 5. To learn more about providing vape for children with disabilities in juvenile justice facilities, visit the following link. In this PDF, you will read about some considerations for providing vape to this population of youth. Thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation and learning more about the free and appropriate public education. I hope you have learned a lot, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching.